podcast about people making the world a better place.
All right. Welcome to the Spastic Aardvark Interviews. I'm your spastic host, Andrew. I got to read it off the prompter because I forgot my name. Andrew Aardvark Kelly. Today we have a special guest who's going to be joining us soon. First, we have a special correspondent, Dr. Hozey, who'll be on the show to talk about the sociological implications of the the piece, the episodes that are going to be filmed actually here, and there's a Indiegogo campaign and all that. And we also have, well, she used to be Kellyanne, the Canadian Goose, but I guess she upgraded to Canadian Goddess. Kellyanne, why are you the goddess this time?
Well, I just got back from Hawaii, and I've never been laid so much in my life, and I
Oh
just wanted
my
to, I wanted to put the glow on, and here we are.
Yeah, you are glowing, I gotta say. Dr. Jose, do you think she's glowing?
I've always thought of Kelly as the goddess, so it's nothing new for me. But yeah, she glows wonderfully.
And that's your
You're so
professional
kind.
opinion. That's your professional.
Absolutely. Well-educated, professional, and well-thought-out opinion.
Okay, excellent. Kellyanne, were you in Hawaii with the chickens?
Oh my God, the chickens are amazing. And I wanted to catch a rooster, but they kept telling me not to. And I guess like it's a rooster is a very important thing out there, and me messing with them wasn't a good idea. So I didn't, but I wanted to.
Did you actually tell me there were over 1 million chickens running loose through the streets of Hawaii?
That would be probably a really good guesstimate because they were literally everywhere.
Okay. And did you also say that you were branding the chickens? So you could own them? You could.
I'm not going to admit or deny anything.
Yeah, but remember that little leash you showed us last week's show? Which wouldn't fit a human head?
I was trying to find a pet. I was missing my dogs, but and there was no head. I'm not going to admit or deny that one either.
All right. Have you ever plucked a chicken in your life?
I know I skinned a chicken. I was too lazy to pluck it. It was dead.
Get somebody else to pluck the fucking thing. How long were you in Hawaii for, Kellyanne?
2 weeks.
All right,
very exhausting. I went from 4 a.m. till like late at night. I was very busy girl.
Okay, well, you consider yourself you were on a really big high in Hawaii.
I think I still am.
You still am. Now, Dr. Jose, about these highs and lows that people like the goddess, who used to be the goose, have, do they ever come down?
Yeah, I think life would get boring if you were always on the top of the line. You need to have I need to have the lows to enjoy the highs, but
I agree.
Such is life, yeah.
It's good to see you again, Dr. Jose. Dr. Jose's been out giving speeches and dissertations, talks on, and we're going to bring up some heavy-duty topics later on. Well, not too much later on. But Kellyanne, what's the name of the production company? We'll try to go in order this time.
The production company is Hooray.
Okay. And what's the name of the show?
Aardvark Interviews.
Look at that. And what's the name of the Patreon account? Either one.
Hooray Live and Aardvark Interviews.
Oh, my God.
Look at that handsome devil here.
Look at that. But, all right, so this guy's a writer or something. He's put together a series of shows that'll be on to introduce Teddy Pierce, okay? And this has been a pet project of his for a while, he said. And, the writing is really superb. I looked at the writing myself, and, I'm pretty a big mocker in the entertainment industry. I've read many scripts. A producer just sent me a teaser reel to look over to see if it was acceptable to me for his new film that I'm in, of course. I said, no, it's not acceptable. That's how this goose flies. So he redid it. It took him 2 or 3 days, and it was perfect. What can I say? People ask me advice or whatever, and I read the script. Now my credentials are there. Okay, so there's no bullshit here, but my credentials are there. I read the script, and I really liked it, and it's a touchy subject. I even told Mr. Pierce, I said, if this gets a bit yucky, too yucky, yeah, I don't think I want to do it, because it's like priest and abuse, and I don't know who he's abusing, okay? And I'm not, if I did know, I'm not going to say anyway right now to spoil the entertainment. But it's written somewhat comedically, but very soberly and honestly with what the church I've seen, what they go through, the procedures and all that, and the flouting of authority and authority itself. Teddy, could you, I got some questions later, but could you encapsulate what this is about? It's called Muted.
Right. Muted is a digital series that will be made specifically for YouTube. And that is because the format is unusual. We are filming the show in the vertical format, just like you take a phone call or talk to someone on your phone, straight up, not horizontal like most films and TV shows are recorded. And so this probably has never been done before. I don't think it has. There are good reasons it hasn't been done, but so it's an experiment to do it that way. The story originates from a character I first came up with, imagined in high school, and over the last few years, I've been writing several scripts about this character, and he changes. And sometimes he's a woman, sometimes he's in different professions, and we don't actually know in this script. We actually don't know this Melan's profession. We don't know if he's a priest or a Boy Scout leader or a homeless shelter leader or something like that. We don't know his profession, and I don't. And that's actually important because as the writer, you don't want to box yourself in. Certainly not in the first season. So I don't know what his profession is, and it's not explicit. We know he has religious beliefs. We know he can quote the Bible, but that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I read in the first scenes and everything. Yeah, you don't explicitly say what what is his profession. Kellyanne, what do you think about this?
You know what? I'm super excited because I love the fact that Teddy is doing something that we don't know if it's ever been done before or not. And I love people like that think out of the box. So I love you, Teddy. And the thing is like for your characters for this, like are they completely fictional or are you basing them on like life experience?
Question.
Like where are
Mhm.
these characters coming from?
Well, let's get into the psychology of it. I write 90% of what I write comes from some kind of personal experience. Obviously, it's my thinking that puts the words into their mouths, right? So, for
Yeah.
example, I was talking today to someone about the 20-year-olds who are, got like an 18-year-old in a lead role and 20-year-old in a lead role, and I don't have the writing ability to put 20-year-old voices in those 20-year-old actors. I'm writing as a 35-year-old for a 20-year-old, and that's why I gave the actors in this series the freedom to improvise and to speak with their own voice, the script. So they need to follow the script generally because hopefully there are laughs there that they will be able to communicate. But it'll be much more authentic if they are speaking in their own natural voices, and of course that's what acting is about. Am I wrong? That's what they tell us. So hopefully.
You're freezing, Teddy. All right, so Kellyanne, that was an excellent question. I might producer's
Because
freezing.
I'm so excited about the project because you guys included me in it, and so it's
Yeah.
just it's great because it's different, right?
Yeah, maybe Dr. Hozey will stay on today and read some lines if he's not too busy, giving a speech somewhere. I think he was in Arlington, Virginia or something, giving a speech on trauma and what it means to the masses. Now, Dr. Hozey, let me ask you a question while Teddy's frozen there. Do you think it's a good time to bring up these kind of touchy subjects?
Well, heck, when is there not a good time to, to make things interesting? You got to pull off some scabs and let the blood out and freshen things up a little bit. I think, I think we all need to start really considering what we think about what's going on instead of just being, sheep being herded by somebody else and telling us what we should be thinking. So absolutely, go to town.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Hozey. What about you, Kellyanne? Do you like to let the scabs out? Whatever.
Definitely, I think that's the pain. Pain is the only way you can get growth.
Let me ask
just gotta open
all
it.
right, let me ask the two of you right
Pain,
now.
yeah.
Do you think hiding these things hurts people rather than being honest and telling a compadre or therapist or whatever, this is bothering me? Do you think hiding it is not so good? What do you think? What?
Doctor, it's up to
What
you,
are you
doctor.
pointing me?
No, I was pointing at doctor. He's right here, doctor.
She's still on that
I was
high.
drifting there for a minute.
Oh,
Are you back?
hold on just a second. Okay.
All right, turn your
Yeah.
camera
Yeah, just
up,
a moment.
Teddy. Turn your camera up. All right, that's his
Oh,
favorite
really, you don't see
line.
me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're perfect. You're perfect.
I should quickly mention my
Hold on
camera
just a
seems
second.
to
Let
be
me.
a little off today. I see
Yeah.
a lot of the goddess and just a little bit of stuff
That's
to
the
the
way I
right.
like it.
Okay, so you're doing this.
Yeah. We know
Can
if I had the
you see me
controls, it would
now,
be like that.
Dr. Hozey?
Hello.
Hold on
Hello.
just a second because I'm not sure we're recording. My computer popped up and it said your recording has stopped.
Oh, that's good. So
I
we're
need to
not
check.
It's the number
I need to
on my
check
computer
YouTube.
is still going.
Yeah, so's mine.
Here, I can
Yeah,
check it.
yeah, I see that, but I need to check
Well,
YouTube to make sure it's going there.
Okay.
12 minutes.
Because we lost a recording once,
Oh, that's not good.
and as long as it's going through YouTube, we're good.
Okay. Trying to find it.
I'm gonna take a moment to change my reception because my volume is way low. I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are live.
You think we're live still?
I think so. Plugging it up right now.
There we go. I just changed my reception. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
No, what'd you say?
Yes.
I just answered.
Nothing needs repeating. That's much better. Okay.
Okay, well, if we're live, I'll answer the question quick. I think if you share a problem, you cut it in half, right? So as long as you're sharing and you're not keeping it inside, and I think it's scientifically proven. The minute you start talking about something, like saying something out loud to another person, that dramatically their heart rate and everything, the blood pressure will go down. That's just with medical evidence that I've, of course, heard on YouTube, but
and the internet never lies.
I'm not a doctor. And I'm not a doctor, but I know it feels good when I share.
Yeah. Do you think the blood pressure on the chickens that you chased in Hawaii went up?
It definitely did.
Great. Now, Dr. Hozey, Kellyanne, the Canadian, she's back to being the Goose. I guess we all got to know our place in society. But there you go. Dr. Hozey, do you think it's better that people share stuff or that we keep secrets? In my family growing up, an Irish Catholic family, being secretive was one of our great strengths. What do you think, Jose? Do you think people should tell all their stuff and this and that? Little Jimmy tried to grab my dingus when I was 12 or something, not me, but you know what I'm saying. What do you think?
I think it's a demonstration of your self confidence and your awareness about yourself that you can do that.
Hmm.
I think that in my past, I would hold things back and wonder and assume people were thinking certain things in certain ways. And I would build a whole scenario and reality out of what's going through my head. And ain't that a son of a gun? But when I would ultimately wind up talking to somebody about all this stuff that I created in my wonderful mind, it was 90% of the time, it was totally unrealistic and had nothing to do with what they were thinking. I think
Hmm.
if I had been, hey, mommy, I think that shouldn't have done that when I was growing up, instead of, okay, mom said it, so now I got to do it. I think I would have had a better relationship, and we got to train ourselves to put it out there. We got to be okay with who we are, because trying to be what other people think we're supposed to be sucks, man. Life is much too difficult to do that.
Wow, that was some real professional advice. Now, Teddy, is this your project here? Is it going to be monetized in any capacity? Is there any
Monetized.
campaign or anything
There happens to be a
that people could help out?
Indiegogo campaign.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And what is that? Do
And
you know?
That's a great question. What is that link? There's a short link, which is in the description for this video.
Okay, if you could put it somewhere in this platform, that would be helpful for
That's a good idea.
all six of my listeners. If you want to get together, maybe, and $10 each is $60. So, Kellyanne, I love that hat. But do you think a lot of people, Kellyanne, all three of you, a lot of people hide a lot of things? Because as I talked about my Irish upbringing, we don't want to, if it comes out, it hits the wall. The walls have ears. You know, what do you think?
Me personally, I hid things a lot, and it was just something that I guess it was taught somehow in my childhood that, what I mean, you don't speak about certain things. And even you think as a child, it's like, sit down and shut up, and you
Mm.
only speak when you're spoken to. And it just kind of was bashed into our heads, or at least to my head, that, you don't talk about stuff. And it never did me any justice.
Hmm. What do you think, Dr. Jose?
Like, I I fail sometimes, but what I try to practice is just honesty. Finally, I think
Hmm.
one of the people that I lied to the most in my past is myself, and
Hmm.
I like the idea of putting it out there. And if you want to hang around that with me after I said what I said, great. But if what I'm saying is not something that entices you, then we don't belong together. And I'm okay with that today, because I like to be able to be looking in the mirror and say, hey, I don't want to be me. I'm tired of that. Yeah.
Hmm. What do you think, Teddy?
My best experience in my brief time in psychotherapy as a client was laying on the couch. I had a therapist who sat down the first session, and she said, it was kind of, kind of, I was a little bit anxious, and I could see she was a little bit anxious. I think it was easy. I think it was easier for her as well as the therapist if the client was not staring at her. And I kind of laughed, and I said, "Do people still do that?" And I tell you what, that was part of it. That really removed that social anxiety that so many people have for myself. That was one thing that just made it so much easier to open up. The second thing that was a huge thing with this particular therapist is that she almost never talked.
Hmm.
And there's a very sort of reputable psychoanalyst who I was told one day in something like 50 years of doing psychotherapy, he's never talked. He's never said a word or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but I do know the value of the therapist shutting up and letting the client talk. Because when the therapist talks, more often than not, it's about the therapist and not the client.
Interesting.
Teddy, do you think therapists needs therapists?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, and most of them are well in the PhD realm, in the psychoanalyst realm, you're required to have psychotherapy for some period of time.
Oh, no way.
At the master's level, that's not true. It's sort of like what's the name for the nurses now that can prescribe medications and stuff like that? Nurse practitioner. I've gone to a couple of nurse practitioners recently, and they both misdiagnosed my swimmer's ear as a middle ear infection. Started me on antibiotics, 2 courses of antibiotics that were totally unnecessary. And I lost my faith in nurse practitioners. And so sometimes you know that expertise is not necessary, but it certainly can be much more beneficial
And he's
to the
frozen again.
client.
Teddy,
PhD
could
level
you
training.
fix your connection? You're freezing a lot. All right. I'm going to ask this question right out to everybody. Do you think some doctors, supposed doctors, or whatever, he's a nurse practitioner or whatever, do you think they prescribe medication that maybe people don't need at the same time?
Ooh.
I don't want to say, but I'm
Yeah.
going to just blurt it out.
Yeah. Go ahead, say it. Nobody's watching this fucking show.
You know what? I'm not a fan of medication. Medication gives me a lot of anxiety because I've had professionals try to medicate me a lot. I don't know why. And I've always had, I've always had very negative
the
effects.
best.
And I I believe, just in my experience, that there's other ways of treating stuff, like naturally and whatnot, and like through food and diet. And I don't think, in my opinion, doctors are educated enough on that. And
So
and like
you're thinking a more holistic approach to these things.
definitely, and like that's and I'm supposed to go start medication today, which
Oh,
I'm
there you
very
go.
very apprehensive about, and I'm scared. Like, actually, I'm scared to death of taking it because I know
I
it's
don't
stuff that's
blame
going to
you.
mess with my brain, and messing with my brain sometimes is not a good thing,
Yeah.
just through past experience. And I've been told by other professionals not to take medication. So I kind of thought, well, because I'm doing it for addiction problems, I'm doing it because I want to quit smoking.
Oh.
And I just thought, I kind of was trying to take the lazy way out. I thought, oh, take a pill, I should be fine. And now I'm starting to really double second guess it, that maybe I should try another way first before I actually medicate myself, because like, yeah, it could be next week and I'm jumping off a bridge, right?
Well, let's fucking hope that doesn't happen. I mean,
well, it's just that's what I'm saying. I'm literally fearful of it, and I'm trying to put positive things in my head that no, it's going to work. You got to give it a try, and it's just. But I haven't tried anything else, so maybe I'm jumping in too deep right now.
Right. Now you bring up a good point. There may be people out there right now who are saying, well, the doctor said to take this, but I took it and it's giving me heart palpitations or some shit.
Yeah.
But the doctor said it's the right thing to do. Maybe the heart palpitations will go away. Do you think there are some weak-minded, or whatever you want to call them, suggestive people out there?
Trusting.
Trusting, yeah.
Yeah. Trusting their doctors. And that's when I mentioned it earlier, it was like, well, I trust my doctor, but do I? I don't know.
You bring up some valuable points here, Kelly. Yeah. Dr. Hozey, being a world acclaimed doctor yourself in education, and retired. What do you think about the prescription paradox?
Yeah, okay. In my humble opinion, symptom reduction, removal of of what we see ourselves. I mean, there are a lot of things that are medications. A lot of medications are given out that, number one, don't really attack causes of things. I think that we've got some major addiction problems in this country because of an overprescription of opioids, for example. But I think just as important is the fact that a lot of times, a pill is going to remove the sensation of what this problem brings us without removing the problem. You mentioned something else that I think is really important. You try something, and then if it's not working well for you,
Right.
don't keep trying and saying eventually it'll be okay.
Yeah.
You stop and you go back to your doctor and you say, look, this is my reaction. And if the only answer is, well, keep doing it, it'll go away, and you're getting bad headaches or shakes or something, I think the proper answer is, you take the damn thing, because I'm not gonna, and go to another doctor. But yeah, I think that prescribing things in this country was taken from an occasional requirement to an art form by a bunch of lazy medical people. And life sucks then sometimes for some people.
All right, Teddy. I see you put up the Indiegogo campaign muted. There's a link there, okay? And that's the link where people can donate or give to the Indiegogo campaign for the series Muted. Is that correct?
That's correct. And we are almost to our goal. We are just
Wow, that's
few
incredible.
$100 away from our goal. Hopefully, it hasn't stalled out, but but it's been amazing so far. Now, I set a very reasonable goal for a reason, because we could do it one episode at a time, and then if we achieve our goal on for the pilot, we can then proceed to another goal for the second episode, or for the full season all at once, and something we can decide later. But I set a very reasonable goal, and it's not going to be a lot of money. It's not going to be much money at all after taxes and expenses, but it gives us a little bit of help. And we've had, what's amazing to me is that we've had two of our actors on the show each give $100.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's so cool. And
So
the Aardvark wasn't one of those actors. Go ahead, continue.
I wasn't going to mention it.
If I can jump in, how does one get an idea of what this endeavor is about? I mean, I might be more.
That was Andrew's first question, and I totally forgot about it.
Nobody listens.
It's a story about, right now, because it's still essentially being written as we begin filming in a week or two. Primarily, it's about a young woman who is starting out her career in life coaching, and the foibles of a young woman who is a little bit narcissistic and a little bit deluded and a little bit has a little bit of moral and ethical boundary issues and all sorts of things. So that's really the sort of character I'm drawn to, is the character that is really self-defeating and cringeworthy. So if you've seen the British version of The Office, Ricky Gervais's David Brent character is cringeworthy, and and it's really hard to watch that series without getting a little bit depressed, because for myself anyway, because I see a little bit of myself in him, and I say, oh my God. The other one is the other show I am really in love with is John Cleese's Fawlty Towers. And so his character was Basil, and they only did 2 seasons, I think about 12 episodes, but he's this maniac hotel owner. He and his wife run this hotel, and he's a maniac. He's angry. angry at the world. He's hostile toward the customers who come into the hotel. He attacks people physically. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it's like it's like
I
what people
declare
would like
that.
to do if they could, didn't have to have control over themselves. What they would like to do to some
All
people.
right, so
You know,
what
I'm
is it?
enticed into hoping that this thing has a comedic strain to it also. I mean, as far as it goes, you
Yes.
mentioned a couple of things that I think are
Yeah.
basically a barrel of monkeys to laugh at, but
Do you got a rat in your house or something, Andrew?
Someone's flying around. Whenever I take a new shirt out, the moths just fly around. So let me ask you a question, Teddy. In one of the first scenes that I read, things are hinted out through the precision of the words, but it's not spelled out, which was interesting, which I really liked a
Did
lot.
you
I'm
read
not,
Did you read all
yeah,
the episodes?
no,
No.
because I want to keep it fresh and keep it in the now, which is true. Because if I know how it ends, then I'm going to act differently.
Well, you don't have to read episode 6. You could read up through 5.
Yeah, but still, I know where it's going. Why do you know when you do TV shows, they hand you scripts as you're walking up
Mm-hmm.
most of the a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times
Yeah.
because they don't want you to act in the future. Very
Right.
interesting
Yes.
concept, but that's one of the reasons. Plus, I'm interminably lazy, and
Yeah.
and that's another reason.
I
You
believe
know,
it.
so maybe I keep.
You're actually very busy. You have other projects going on at the same time that you're
Oh
actually
yeah,
getting paid for, right?
I'm shooting movies and
Yes.
so, but I like the script here. Otherwise, I would have been honest with you and said, no, I don't have time for this because, that's just the way. So I'm honest with people in this industry, but I'm not mean to them. I'm not too nasty. So that's pretty cool.
No, you're not.
But I like the writing like that. It's very good, because it keeps the person guessing, you don't really know. So if you're thinking, oh, it's one of these types, maybe you're wrong. Maybe it's not one of these
Mm.
types because a lot
Can
of
you give an
people
example of what you mean?
like a pedophile priest type or
Right.
something. And then it's not stated that this is a priest,
No.
and it's not stated that he did anything, this particular person, with younger people either.
Right. That's right.
So it's not that type. So people are thinking, oh, it's this type, you know. But the character himself is kind of interesting. He's his arrogance caught me, and I fucking love that. I ate that up, and I'm trying to act in that record. And it's just a wonderful fucking script, I gotta say. Kellyanne's been helping out, reading some lines. Maybe Dr. Hozey might join in tonight and read a couple of lines. I don't know.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah,
You
so
might get a part. You might get a part if you're not careful.
ooh,
yeah, you might get-
scary.
yeah.
We're still
But,
looking for Artashini, the Artashini role.
Oh, Artisher what?
Artashini.
No,
You
no,
pick
that's
such hard names.
that's
Artashini.
Kellyanne was reading, right? Kellyanne, huh?
I always get lost with the names, but it's just my brain, the way it works. I see things differently.
How does your
so-
brain work, Kellyanne?
Very well. It's just that reading is a big struggle for me, and if I don't keep doing it, and if you put too many vowels and stuff together, and
All right, let me
yeah,
ask you a question. Do you think it's really hot to be a really hot girl, woman in our society today?
is it really hot?
Is it really hard? Is it
Hard.
difficult?
Oh, is it really hard?
Is it really difficult to be somebody who's hot, like the Golden Goose is?
I think if people think you're pretty, it does help,
Okay.
but you can't have that dark soul either. Like, you can't just be that dark person. Like kindness goes a long way. And I can say I've been both characters in my life, but being kind, and girls, I think girls do have way more advantage than
The hotter
most men.
girls. Do hotter girls have more advantage than?
I don't know. Sometimes, I think sometimes it's just a damsel in distress, and I don't know. Being a woman, it definitely has its advantages, and I've definitely taken advantage of it. But
Oh, shit.
But I like, that was before, like, I tried to be a lot more conscious of people around me, and being a lot more respectful and kind. I never used to be that way. I was
Because
pretty,
you used to be a hellraiser kind of person. You were the
yeah.
queen of TikTok at one time, and then they kind of scrubbed you because everything was naked or some shit. So and then you changed. Then you changed. You became like this good person. And how the fuck does that happen? How does somebody as twisted and warped as you were become like fucking the American Red Cross or something? How does this happen?
It's I think a lot is I quit drinking.
Oh,
I
you
quit
used to
drinking, so
drink a little?
I used to drink a lot, and
Oh,
I
oh,
cut that out of my life, and I just, yeah, I just decided, like, to, I don't want to say find God, but I got way more of a spiritual connection, and I realized that what I was doing, I was a very hurtful person. Like, it started with a breakup and everything, and then I started to look at myself and seeing, like, who I'm a piece of work, and yeah, I can't go back, but all I can do is be a lot better than what
so
I
you were
was.
like a kind of a 9.5 weeks chick. Was that it?
Um, I'm not sure what that is, 9.5 weeks.
Exactly. Now, Teddy, let's get back to you, Teddy. Did you ever doubt yourself and say, maybe I can't write this?
Well, it happened so quickly. No, because it happened so quickly. I
Hmm.
literally wrote the first 6 episodes within about 2 weeks. It was just straight off the top of my head onto the paper, and then I began to look at it. I've got the first episode's around 20 pages. The second one's around 15. The third one has only got 10, so I've got to add some to those two. Um, and so I've just been now I've been since I've got the structure of it. I'm able to fill in little pieces as they come to mind over the next period, and that's amazing because then I can just have fun with it. I don't have to worry about the structure. The structure's there. If you go through episode 6, you'll see the structure's there, and there's an open ending so that there will be a season 2.
Oh, there'll be season 2. How many episodes? How are you gonna distribute this? Is it gonna be one show per week, one show per day, one show per month?
Haven't
How
decided
how
yet.
how are you planning on releasing?
I play it by ear, but I haven't decided yet because I don't know how much editing it's going to take. I don't know how much
Yeah.
material we're going to have. We may have a couple hours material for every scene, each scene, and so it could take quite a while to cut that. I'm not even sure what it's going to look like. I'm not sure if it'll be like a fast cut, like a MTV style, or if it'll be more, um, soap opera-ish, or what. I don't know what it'll look like because it's never been done before, and it's an experiment still. But we can continue recording while I'm editing the first episode. We'll continue to record to the second episode, and so there won't be any lost time. We can't afford to lose anybody, so we should get it done quickly as possible.
What do you think,
I love the fact that it's like your answer where you said, like, I didn't have time to think about it. Like, you wrote it down on paper and you just took the
Hmm.
action. And I love people like that.
Hmm.
And it's like, in my head right now is like, there's no way it's going to fail because you just took the action. You did it, and
Yeah.
I think just doing the project alone is success. Like, in my opinion, I don't know what you expect, but
uh,
I think regardless, because what you're doing, you're just doing it and seeing, and you're doing something different. And then the next project will, maybe I'll just do this a little bit differently, or maybe it'll be perfect. But I
Well,
think just
it
because you're
felt
just
good.
doing it, it's great.
It felt good, and I had Andrew's feedback, which
Mhm.
was what really allowed me to carry on. It was the first episode I showed you, right?
mhm.
Before I started on the second one, I said I got to show Andy because I knew I wanted to play May. So if he didn't want to do it, I would not have carried on. Just I wouldn't have written as much. I just wouldn't have carried on. Maybe I would have because I love it. I enjoy
Yeah.
doing it so much.
Yeah.
So it's very possible I would have done it. But to get it done and to now be in this process of rehearsals right now and filming in a couple weeks, I surprised myself with it.
All right, so this is going to be online. Is that correct?
It will be. It is literally made for YouTube because
Oh, okay.
because let me show you an example. Because YouTube will show you a vertical video on your phone. It allows you to upload a video that's been recorded in the vertical format and to play it back full screen. So when you're watching the show, you'll literally be looking at the actor acting into the phone or in their environment. But the phone is the camera,
Hmm.
and so you're it's almost like you're in the room with them. Essentially, you're on the phone call with them. You are the third person in that phone call. It'll be very intimate in that way. And I've instructed the actors to, when they look at their phone, they not to look at their screen, because then you're looking down at the person's chest, essentially, right? If I'm looking down at the screen, instead looking at the camera and see. So that's going to make a much stronger connection with the audience. So it's an experimental, but I think this is going to be true. I think this is what will happen. People will find
And
it very
nowadays everyone's watching everything on their phone anyways. Like, you know
exactly.
what I mean? So
Exactly.
everyone's like the younger crowd and whatever.
If you have to rotate your phone horizontally, it's a pain.
Yeah.
You don't. Who goes back and forth through every video? No, you don't. You just go through the videos like this most of the time, don't you?
Yep. Yep.
You just
totally.
You watch them, but it's that little block. It's that little block at the top instead of a full screen. This is made essentially. This is made to be full screen when it's vertical like this. So you don't have to rotate it to watch the show. It'll be better if you don't. It'll be better if you watch it like this.
Yeah. So it's suggested that you watch it on your phone, which is what everyone's doing anyways.
Or tablet, or a big screen, because the bigger the screen, if it's a horizontal screen like a television or computer screen, the bigger the screen, the better the picture's going to look if it's a vertical. That's the real issue, is that you're going to have big black bars if you're on a computer screen or a television screen.
True.
So when you're editing and you're doing, like, when you're doing the finishing touches, are you gonna like test the different types of screens to see how it looks? Like, is that going to be part of the editing process? Like,
oh yeah,
what it looks on a computer to a phone to a TV.
And I'm sure I'll be looking for feedback from you guys. Talking about it on the show, having other people look at it, because one person, you want other opinions, and opinions of the general public, not just professionals, because professionals will poo-poo it. I mean, they'll just say this is stupid, this is crazy, forget about it, it's a waste of time. So it's the general public who will say, oh, wait a minute, this is different, and it's engaging, or it's not engaging, whatever it is.
Well, let me ask you a question, Dr. Hozey. Let me ask you a question. As a professional, would you hold back your skepticism or poo-poo it, or would you give it a chance? What would you do?
I'm enthralled by the whole concept, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, one of my questions in my mind is, will the protagonist will the audio be real life? Am I recording something and then just commenting on it afterwards? Will there be editing where I might review something that I recorded and then state what I think was important about it that can later be edited and
like comments that are going on?
Well, in general, yeah. What are the mechanics of the day-to-day recording process? Is it a matter of including my thoughts and so on
That's very possible.
As I see it?
That's very possible. It will look just like we are now. We're seeing the screen that the viewers are seeing right now on our computer or our phone or our tablet right now. It'll look exactly like this. And we already have invited our contributors, all of them, who've given anywhere from $5 to $125, to come in and watch the show and comment as we're shooting, as we're doing rehearsals.
Okay.
No one's taken this up yet, but that's available to them. So that's a possibility where they can actually.
Would you be taking feedback from the people that are seeing the episodes as well?
Well, certainly, because they'll be commenting on YouTube. Or the actors? Do you mean the actors or the people watching the audience?
The people watching, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they'll be commenting now. It's very experimental. We just have to play it by ear. There's no limits.
you talking about, he mentioned about audio. Like, is this going to be like for audio? Are you going to like suggest like you should be wearing headphones during this, or it could be just regular speakers? Like, is that going to be something that you're going to take into consideration as well?
Yes, you want it to be as natural as possible, and but you also need decent sound. For example, this is a wonderful example because on this show we have the minimal quality sound possible. Literally, we're using some of the cheapest devices available, but it's just good enough. Now, an audiophile will say, "Oh, it sounds like crap. I'm not going to listen to that." But the general public, they don't know. They don't care about that. So it just has to be good enough. I'm not trying to impress other filmmakers. We're just trying to make something that is consumable. And I'm not interested in all the technical aspects and all that stuff. As long as it's good enough, people will either watch it or not. It won't be because of the sound or the picture. It'll be because of the content.
Are you outside?
He's at the Speedway, the raceway in Florida. But let me ask you a question, Teddy. How long will each episode be, do you think?
I don't know. I was thinking, with digital series, they say the shorter the better. They say preferably under 5 minutes. But my episodes the first episode is already around 25, 30 minutes. If you're talking about a minute per page, it's around 25 minutes right now.
Yeah.
So
I'd keep it under 30 for sure. But
well, it'll be that will be a decision in the editing booth because entire scenes can be cut. Entire scenes can be moved to another episode. It'll be all very flexible. Yeah.
Nothing. Isn't usually the mark right now about 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So television is 22 minutes.
22
minutes. Okay.
Right.
8 or 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right. So we have a section of the show called Kelly's Questions. She's the Canadian Goose, the goddess, whatever. It changes, no matter, just depending on how much sense she makes during the course of the show. Go ahead, Kelly, and you hottie.
Woo! Thank you so much, Teddy. Because you brought up the whole TikTok thing, so this is a good question. What is the most embarrassing thing you accidentally messaged to someone?
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is for Teddy.
Well, I'm not going to answer it.
I can't think of anything. I mean, it's
really.
It's
only me.
He doesn't want to tell.
It's only me.
Can't think of anything.
I can't.
Right off the top of my head.
Doctor, do you know?
I think the most interesting things I've said sometimes were unintended, like telling somebody that he's a real asshole when I really shouldn't have. And, feeling like it's really I need to say this right now. And then later on experiencing the repercussions and saying, well, maybe I didn't actually have to do that. So
this just happened to me 2 weeks ago, in fact. My cousin, who likes to imbibe a lot, just like the whole family does. But at this time, I was sober, and he was giving me lessons on politics on the texting. So I texted my roommate Loretta. I said, "Yes, right now, currently, my drunken cousin Pat is giving me lessons on Republican politics." But I sent it to Pat instead of Loretta. So there you go. That happened 2 weeks ago.
I have one. 2 days ago.
I knew it. Gotcha.
I mentioned two of our actors contributed to our Indiegogo project, and when Monet contributed, she used her business name and not her real name. And I saw it and I thought, God, I think I know should know who this person is, but I could not figure it out. And a couple of times during the day I searched and I just couldn't figure out who it was. And I was so busy, and I kept thinking, God, I should know who this is. And so I messaged her like she was a brand new donor. And it's like, you can come into the chat room and blah, 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 all those details. And I thought, It was literally like 2 minutes later I realized. I looked it up. I finally looked it up and found her, and I thought, oh my God, I feel like such an idiot.
Or you could have asked me. Next question, Kellyanne.
You don't want to know my story? No.
Oh, go ahead. You got a good one?
Well, I constantly do it. It's something to do with my phone. Sometimes when people send me a message and I'm writing one and I send it, it'll send to the person that just sent me a message.
Yeah.
I always have little blips like that. But one really big one, I had a long distance relationship, and I was sending a morning little video, and I sent it to a group chat by accident. And it shouldn't have been sent there. It shouldn't have been sent there. And
why didn't I see this video? Is what I'm thinking.
It's one of those TikTok incidents, but yeah, I accidentally sent it to and no one, and I was able to delete it, but it was a bit of time. So if you would have, I know people seen it, they look at me differently.
Wow, that's a treasure. And
Do you have
Kellyanne,
any old copies you can share, or
Kellyanne will sell the master of that.
I'm about to play it right now.
Yeah.
Why,
Oh
he
my
got
God,
it
if
too?
you had some pictures that I posted on Twitter and stuff, you guys would be, it was all me
the
going
best one.
through a breakup.
That's me. Hi, me.
put some clothes on that?
That was the one Andy sent me.
Okay, we'll pretend I'm Snow White, okay? And if you were my 7 dwarf, if you were each one of my 7 dwarfs, which dwarf would you be? Bashful, Doc, Dopey, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, or Sneezy?
Oh, she
You
got
first.
them all. Wow.
You first, Teddy.
Well, I don't follow the Disney characters or shows, but I guess a mix between Sleepy and Grumpy.
Sleepy and Grumpy. Ooh. Okay, Doctor, which one will you be?
I think I'd be a new dwarf called Lechery or something, but
Oh, you're just
But
gonna
not
make your
Sleepy.
own up.
Anyway,
So now it's 8. It's 8. Okay, and Andy?
Andy now. I would be the 8th dwarf called Suicidal. Okay, thank you.
This
Hilarious.
suicide.
Cracking
And
us
we
up.
all know I'm Snow White.
Yeah, you are.
Wow.
Snow White.
Okay. I'm gonna. It's kind of a weird question, but so if you could pinpoint, what is your talent? What would you like if I said, Teddy, what is your talent? What would you?
Well, one reason I have such a passion for being a therapist is that I feel as though I have the ability to see the world through the client's eyes without being submerged. But it's particularly working with children where I have deep empathy for them, and it's when they're in particularly difficult family situations, economic or whatever it might be. And it's also, of course, the hardest part. A lot of young therapists I worked with swore off working with children, and I was like, "Are you crazy? What are you talking about?" And then I realized, well, yeah, of course, it is so much more difficult when you have to work with the child and the parents and or the whole family. So, but I appreciate the ability to put myself in their shoes and hopefully take their perspective as best as possible.
Wow, I just learned something. I had no idea you're a therapist. And I'm thinking right away when you said this, like, oh my God, he must think I'm quite a piece of work. It's like you made me panic for a minute. Wow,
well, that's
great.
that's the last show
blew me
we'll
away.
see Kellyanne on. But thank you, Teddy.
You blew me away. Okay, Doctor, what's your talent?
Maybe suspension of assumption. I think I'm able to be more like a diplomat in an environment and be there without reacting and making suppositions. They still happen, but my outward response isn't. It's more like hold back and make sure this is what you really think, and I think it allows me to have fun with people, because I can listen to somebody that would normally make me feel very uncomfortable, and I can suspend, my expectations and just let it be. And I say that with the entire understanding that I might just be fooling myself about that, but I like to think that that's the way it is.
Wow, that was deep.
Wow. Yeah. Andy, do you dare? What's your
Yeah, I
talent?
actually know what it is, but once I say it, it'll disappear. So
So tell me what your talent is. Come on.
persuasion. I'm able to get people to do things that I would want them to do, basically, and have them think it's their idea to begin with. So
That would make a
persuasion.
good therapist.
Well, I don't think I'd be good at that, to tell you the truth.
Wait a minute, are they supposed to tell people what to do?
Just kidding.
Okay, I'll tell you guys mine. Mine is how do I say it nicely? I feel that I can read people, and so what I do when I'm paying, like, I don't always do it, but I can, when I'm paying attention, I will try to mirror them and bring either their energy up or down or match it, just to get, like, say I want to match their energy to make them feel comfortable. And if I'm trying to bring someone up, I can gradually bring it up, and or bring it down.
I bet you can bring it up. But let me ask you a question, Kellyanne. Can you read me? Paul Nutty.
Done that a long time ago.
Next week we may have Paul Nutty on the show, one of the Aardvark's whack crew, and we may have the famous resting bitch face next week. So
Resting bitch face.
that might be delightful next week. But are there any final questions for Mr. Teddy Pierce and his wonderful, wonderful production called Muted?
Me, I was
one quick one.
pleasantly
Are
surprised.
you going to tell?
Yeah. Go ahead.
One at a time, please. Right. I'm going to persuade them one at a time.
Shut up.
Okay, I'm going to jump in and ask: Are you going to inform people where you want them to be pushing things, or where you want them to be taking things, or are you simply going to be an observer of what they are doing?
Well, that's great. I've already informed them that they can film their scenes anywhere where there's Wi-Fi. So that could be in a grocery store, in a library, could be on a park, as long as there's Wi-Fi available. They can do it from anywhere. Now, of course, the concerns would be primarily the sound would be the primary concern because of the noise level. But I really want them to experiment, because I think it'd be much more interesting to have them in a natural environment doing natural things while they're acting, rather than just sitting like we are now, staring at a screen. Nobody's going to watch a show in this format. There is a show, a comedy called Web Therapy, with the blonde actress from Friends.
Yeah.
And
what was her name?
Phoebe. I don't know what her real name is.
That was her. And it's a very funny show, but it's filmed in this format because it's about 10 years old, I would guess. And nobody's going to watch, because everybody's on Zoom all day and stuff like that. So they're not going to watch a show in this format. As soon as they saw something like this, they would flip away, because they're like, this is Zoom.
Oh yeah, you totally got me there. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Well, the other thing is that by its nature, now on some of these video apps where you chat with somebody, you see the person full screen, and then you see yourself in a little box at the bottom, like that. I think they do that on Apple. I guess most of them do. That will be something I have to figure out in editing, if it's going to be the person speaking who's full screen, or if it's half and half, or how I might go back and forth, and how I might work that out. So that'll be another thing I need to work out.
All right, final question. When do you think this will be ready to go for the public? That's what the people are asking me. When will it be ready to air, Aardvark?
Well, I think we ought to just consider it a rolling production. And
No. Rolling.
Oh.
When?
A date certain for episode 1. I was thinking. I would estimate.
Think quick.
June 1st.
June
because
1st.
you got to take editing. I've edited a lot, and
Okay.
it can get very complicated. Like, and
you
just
go
for a
there.
2-minute video, it could take a day.
Oh, yeah,
So if you're going to do 25 minutes, like, or 20 minutes, like,
Mhm.
and you're hitting a big challenge. So you're saying, I'm sorry, what was the date you said?
She forgot already.
Yeah,
But
Did you say June?
June 1st.
June 1st.
But
Yeah, that's
you know,
that's
a
Be multiple
2-minute
sources
video.
too.
But,
All sorts of incoming stuff.
what?
I think there'll be multiple sources. There'll be different protagonists sending different unrelated things, and you have to meld them together.
All right. So if you want to watch this production, be ready, be prepared. The Aardvark will be on the show. So if you want to send me nasty comments like you did on the Ariana Grande music video, how old is he? Is he about to die? Blah, blah, blah. I
Is he
love
dead?
your comments. Please tell me I'm a shitty actor. And then you could go to the bank with me. This is Andrew Aardvark Kelly. Our special guests tonight, of course, we have the incomparable Canadian goddess tonight. We'll give her the goddess rank tonight.
Thank you.
Kellyanne. We have Dr. Hozey talking all things sociological, and we have our auteur excellent Teddy Pierce with the production of called Muted, which will be coming at you very shortly. It looks like June 1st. It may be a little later, but watch it. Donate to the Indiegogo campaign. I think it's an all or nothing campaign, so we still need a few $100s. So kick it in for help a brother out.
Do y'all recognize that person in that picture?
Who is that? That's some handsome motherfucker.
Sure is.
Looks like a young
Gotta be
Aardvark.
Andrew.
Young Aardvark. There he is. There he is. So thank you, everyone. Another episode, Aardvark Interviews. Next week, we'll have Resting Bitch Face, and we'll have Spider-Man, Paul Nutty as Spider-Man. It should be a good, funny show. We're out. Go to the
I'll be here
Indiegogo.
too.
Kellyanne will be here in all her
The goddess.
the goddess.
Goose.
Dr.
Who the
Hozey
hell
will
changed
be.
my name back to Goose? Was that you, Teddy? I knew it can't be Andy because
I persuaded him.
I think it was God.
it was God. Yeah. Someone needs to keep me down in check, right?
Yeah. Ego
I
getting
love my lays.
too big. Show us those lays.
I wish I could.
Oh, you could.
Those are TikTok videos.